Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Six of Cups, pleasure. This is a card of community. This is a card of, feeling that we are part of something that means something, that we are, we're functioning in a world where our efforts are appreciated, where our work is acknowledged, where your sacrifices are acknowledged, right? It's a card of pleasure, but it's not just luxury. It's not just seeking gratification. Okay, I think you're somebody that deserves some gratification, that deserves some pleasure. I feel like you've been working extraordinarily hard on something, and I feel like you're going to get the recognition, you're going to get the support, you're going to get the love that sort of it's not what you've been seeking, but it really is going to matter. It really makes you feel good, right? Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Okay, I feel like you're somebody who sacrifices a lot for what you're doing. Oh, look at that. Now you get that 9. Wow. Okay. 9 of Cups as well. Ace of Pentacles underneath. The Fool behind you. The Death card above you. And in front of you, the Sun. Absolutely. This is your soul's purpose. Okay, this is the Fool taking this journey of love, of abundance, of the pleasure of trying new things, the pleasure of trying to do something that's out of the ordinary. You've been innovating, right? You've been doing something with your life that you have never done before. You're taking a chance on yourself. And I think it's really paying off. The Sun card in the future position is success, it's recognition, it's clarity. It's gnosis, it's knowing yourself. This is the card of the soul, right? It is luminous, and it is it's shining light on the past and the present and the future. I feel like you're finding your path here, right? You know who you are, you know why you're here. This is extraordinary. We're going to put the rest of the cards out. We have a 2 of Wands, we've got a 6 of Swords, a 2 of Swords, and we've got a fixed air energy with a Prince of Swords. So we've got some interesting air energy over here. So it really is about how you're communicating, how you're relating to others, how you're sort of planning the rest of your life, how you're kind of doing things intentionally, and I think you're connecting, you're building rapport with people. I feel like you're being, I don't know if it's accepted into a new group or if you're sort of getting some kind of recognition for what you've done, for your efforts, for this risk that you've taken. What I'm also feeling with the Fool back here, the Fool is sort of an energy that might be a little aimless. The Fool might be when you finally get free of something and we don't know what we want to do. We're just sort of going wherever the wind blows, man, So the Fool doesn't have a direction necessarily. But I wonder if some of these other cards, especially our air cards here, are showing that maybe you enjoyed this period of time, but now we're giving the Fool a focus. That the Fool is on a mission now. The Fool is becoming the knight of for the Holy Grail, right? The Fool becomes the Holy Fool with a mission, with a sense of purpose. You're putting a sword in the Fool's hand becomes a knight of the Holy Grail. Has a purpose in life. Okay, so I wonder if you kind of started something, you indulged in something, you just sort of, whimsically got involved in something, not knowing really what it was, but just thought, it'd be cool to try. And I think that the water energy here is extraordinary. I think as the Fool, you jumped into something just on a whim, but you loved it. It really meant something to you. It really it hit a sweet spot in you that you just, wow, this is what I want to do. This makes me feel good. This makes me feel like I've got a purpose here. This really is, this feels like the right thing for me. Sometimes the Fool has to go through a lot of different things, has to really be literally blown about by the wind until it finds that sense of purpose. It finds something for which it says, this is something that I care about enough that I'm willing to take up the sword and become the knight and become the warrior. And this is something that I feel is worth my effort, is worth me getting my fire energy all worked up over, So this is really, really wonderful. I want to point out before we select the mystery card that we're moving into the Lunar New Year, and it is the year of the wood serpent. Okay, so this is the year of wisdom, growth, transformation, imagination, creativity, but turning it into a practical something, turning it into reality, turning it into a material, right, into something solid. And that's sort of the Fool. The Fool's way up in the air. The Fool is a lot of talent. The Fool is really maybe kind of good at a lot of things, wandering around to a lot of different things, rather aimless, no real sense of direction, but full of talent, full of possibilities. Just, I know that life is out there somewhere and this grand adventure is out there, but don't quite know what it is yet. Well, I think that you're maybe in a kind of silly way or in a kind of weird serendipitous way with a lot of synchronicity, and I think you're sort of stumbling in to what is really truly meant for you, whether it's a relationship or a group of people or a new place or just kind of a path. And I feel like this is really good. But the Fool is in a very literal way saying you have a talent. You've got to know what that is, and you've got to be able to do something concrete to start to build this into a reality. Okay. And I think it really is, because the Fool's in the past, right? It might kind of say, well, what was that thing like throughout your life? Maybe like when you were a kid. What was your thing? What was that? What was that curiosity in you? When you were a kid, did you have any kind of obsessions when you were a kid? Like some kids are just really into words, or some kids are really into like race cars and stuff like that. I don't know. Some kids are really into dancing or music or the arts or something. Or what was your thing when you were a kid? And when you think about that thing now, how does it feel? Right? Because the thing that we are most sort of interested in and curious about it as a child, what we keep sort of coming back to when we're kids. Okay? What was that for you? That very often can give you a clue about what your sort of natural inclinations are in life. And if we could find a way to incorporate that into what we're doing now as adults, I think that's a path toward real happiness here. It's kind of a following your bliss. Okay, kind of a following your bliss here. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor Infinite and Unknown. This is Jimbo the Lizard King, a.k.a. Mr. Lizard, right on top. And now we're not going to look at that card till the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during this program you feel like you know what that card is, please put your prediction down in the comments below. Okay, now, looking around the room. 1, 2, three major arcana energies. The Fool, transforming through this death energy. And it's kind of like, in one sense, we're the death card is showing a transition from past to future. A transition from a previous state of being to the new state of being. A transition from being the fool to being the holy fool, right? To being the sage. A transition from what came before to what now, to who we are now and what our future will be like. A transition from not having a purpose, not knowing exactly who we are and just still trying to figure it out, to now having certainty and clarity and being this radiant soul and shining our light out into the world. Okay? This is showing the transition between two states of being. Okay? It's not a literal death, but it is the transforming of the old into the new, the recycling of the energy. The fool will always be the fool. In the tarot journey of the fool's journey, it's the fool will always be the fool, and everything will come back around to the fool. But what we can do is, going through this process of transformation, the fool realizes who it truly is. It's a process of kind of remembering who we are. Okay? And so this is a natural curiosity. This is showing a natural talent, a natural inclination that you probably have had since you were a kid. Okay? I remember the one thing that I really, really liked when I was a kid was books. I love to get new books. I love taking care of my books and organizing my books. Maybe I should really be a librarian or something. What I always really want to do is run a bookstore. That's kind of my life dream, is to own and operate a bookstore. Just a little thing somewhere in some small town somewhere. Anyway, one day, right? But the other thing I like to do was music. I also really enjoyed music when I was a kid. Anyway, if you have a prediction for the mystery card, put it downstairs in the comments. The major arcana, 1, 2, 3, fire. We've got water. We've got air. A lot of air. And we've got a little bit of earth, just a little bit. And the earth is only this Ace of Pentacles. It's basically saying that, you have to take this first step. That you, for one, it's saying it doesn't matter what this is for you. What matters is that you're discovering what your talent, your purpose, your inclination, your natural curiosity, this natural gift that we're all born with. What is it? We have to look at our child. What did you do when you were a kid? What did you like to do? What did you do so much that you forgot what time it was and your parents had to come yell at you to get in the house or something? Like, what were you into the most? And when you think about it now, how does it feel? And if you were to do it now, how would that feel? Well, this is you doing that. This is you taking that fool energy, which is still a 0. It's unmanifested, going from a 0 to an ace, to a 1, right? Taking a step in that direction. We're maybe not sure what this is. We've got to experiment. We've got to try some things. Okay? Anyway, the 6 and the 9 of Cups, this is like a prophecy for me. This is almost a promise from the universe, right? Saying that if you discover what really makes your soul happy with this 6 of Cups, because the 6 of Cups, again, it's the feeling like, this is where I belong. This is my realm. These are my people. This is where I really feel comfortable. This is where I feel happy. It's almost saying, what is your happy place? I do feel that this is a sense of community, a sense of connection, a sense of being rewarded for what you're doing, being rewarded for this risk that you're taking in life, for this leap of faith in yourself, believing in yourself and just diving into something. And if we do it with discernment and we do it with some sort of intentionality behind it, and that's where we really need this 2 of Wands with our Fool, because that's kind of saying we are the Fool, yeah, but we're not just letting the wind toss us around the universe. No, we're taking control of this fool energy, this curiosity, this faith, and we're directing it toward things that we believe might be the thing. Okay, and so this is kind of like your own neurobiology of the universe and spirit, and your own soul is rewarding you for taking that leap, giving you that feeling of pleasure. You know, it's like when I play the drums, you know, and it's kind of, I haven't played the drums since I was, I don't know, it's been years now. It's been about 10 years since I played the drums, to be honest with you. But it was something that I did when I was a kid, something that I really loved doing when I was a child. And then I got away from it for a long time, you know. To sit and play the drums again now, I know that it would give me such an intense feeling of joy. This is the sublime pleasure. Okay, this is experiencing something that one, makes you forget all about time. And it puts you in a totally different realm. It's a transformative experience when we do. It's like a spiritual experience. We are touching the sublime. Okay, and this could be music, this could be gardening, this could be books, it could be words, it could be performing something, it could be some sort of construction, building something, taking something apart, all sorts of things, categorizing things, right? I really I enjoyed organizing things, and I enjoyed playing drums with music. Feeling immersed in that sound and the body movements of music in that way, and so I mean it could be something also like dancing or something along those lines, right? But this is almost that real intense like dopamine hit when you do something and your body sort of rewards you, you know, for getting it done. It's that feeling of satisfaction. But this takes on a spiritual kind of color to it. Because I think you're touching something timeless. I think it's something that reminds you of when you were a kid, and it's something that it just feels so intensely joyful right now, even if it's hard work. Right? I play the drums. I'm burning calories. I'm sweating. You know, and it's a workout. You know, and I imagine if I sat down and did it now, I don't think I'd be that great at it. But the joy is still there. You know, so it's not an absence of difficulty. It's not an absence of pain or hardship. It's such a sublime spiritual joy that it sort of blocks out the pain and the struggle of it all. It's an intense joy. It feels like a hug from the universe. Okay? And I think you're discovering this. I think the Fool is going forward into this, taking that leap of faith that's going to bring you this. And then, of course, once we discover what that is, well, then it puts us on this path of our Nine of Cups. We realize that doing this is part of our overall life happiness. It doesn't mean that this has to be what you do for money. This doesn't mean that it has to take up every hour of every day, although the Six of Cups says that it could if you let it. Right? Because the Six of Cups, when we're in it, we have no sense of time. We have no sense of fatigue. It's like we're just in there in the energy. And I remember playing the drums in this way, and hours could go by, and you have no sense of how tired you are, or how sore your muscles are, and or how much time is, how hungry you might be. You know, all those things are sort of gone. You're just in this flow, in this zone, yeah. And so what we need to do is incorporate this thing, whatever it is for you, incorporate it into your life in some way. That's what this year of the wood serpent is all about. And it doesn't have to be, your source of income. If it can be, great. It doesn't have to be, but let's add this to our life. Let's realize that this is something that is, your soul absolutely needs it in your life. And, well, there's no time. I'm too busy. I don't have any. That's our Two of Swords in this position of what we don't want. We don't want to always find an excuse why we can't do this. And this might be connecting with people. This might be Maybe you enjoy talking to people or writing or drawing, painting, collecting stamps, a million different things. I do feel like for you, it is in some kind of an ensemble. Okay? I feel like for you, it's something that is better done with other people. That's more fun when there's somebody else in the room. You know what I mean? Because I feel the Six of Cups, Six of Swords, I feel that there's something about doing it with other people. So it could be music, it could be dancing, it could be speaking to people, it could be helping people, healing people, literally anything at all, but it's going to put you in contact with more people. The Nine of Cups is following your bliss, living the dream, being happy, pursuing your happiness. Okay? And again, it's not about the money, it's about you finding a way to incorporate this, even if it's just 5 minutes once a month that you get to do it. Your soul needs to be in that Six of Cups state as often as possible, but as little as you need to. I mean, as whatever you can squeeze into your life. We need to squeeze this in, okay? And I guarantee that it's going to transform your life. It's the same way that we need to journal. I think Spirit really is trying to get you to write in your journal more often. There's something transformative about being in that state, being in that flow, in that process. Just like journaling, you spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes every day, maybe just writing down what you're most grateful for today, right? Or what is the most important thing that you got to do today. Just spend 5 minutes, write that down. I guarantee you in a week you're going to be a much happier person. And just like finding this thing for you, I guarantee the first time you do it, it's going to transform your entire world. Because it is part of your soul. It is what you are kind of meant to be doing on this earth, right? So the Death card is this card of recycling, It's asking us, what can we take energy from to devote to this new relationship, activity, effort, hobby, vocation, whatever it is. What do we need to let go of in order to make a little tiny bit of room for this? This is just an Ace of Pentacles. Now, if you want it to become a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of Pentacles, that's up to you. But just a little ace. What do we have to stop doing or move away from or devote less time to so that we can make a little bit of room for this new thing? Okay, maybe this is just like, I don't know. I mean, it could be just making a little bit of time for your friend, for your best friend, or for having, maybe it's for having a little pet or something. Maybe you really love animals. Maybe we got to find a way to have some sort of an experience interacting with nature or something like that. 5, 10 minutes here and there. One little, just half an hour once a month where you get to, be out in nature, or maybe it's swimming, maybe it's ocean, undersea life or something, I don't know. What do we have to rearrange in our life? What can we pull a little bit of energy from and devote it to this new thing? The Death card is Spirit's way of saying that life is always changing and fluctuating. And we have to be able to use this energy. Life is always coming and going. The energy is always flowing in and flowing out. There's always a flow and exchange of energy. What can we recycle here? Right? What do I have to let go of to make a little bit of room for what feels like a soul kind of yearning? Okay. And the Sun card in the future position here, this is, that's pretty great. This is the Fool's identification with itself. The Fool is realizing that it is a radiant sun. I feel like this is joy. I feel like this is just, your whole mood is going to change. Just by doing this one thing for 10 minutes, once a month or something, maybe once a week or, as often as you can, reasonably. I think it's going to transform you into a happier, healthier, more vibrant, more radiant version of yourself. Not that you aren't those things now, But this is feeling like you've reconnected with something that was an essential part of yourself. And now you're sort of radiating it out into the world. You're doing it. You're expressing it. You're living, even if it's just by yourself. I used to play drums just in my bedroom. I had a little electric kit, put my headphones on. I'd stay there for hours and hours. It was about 10 years ago. I was a lot younger then, but this is giving expression to that which is inside of you and needs to come out. And by doing this, I think we're going to have a better time at work, at school, with friends, with family. It's going to improve so many different areas of your life. You know, the Sun card is absolutely great. Let's talk about the path of the serpent, because this is all very, very nice, but this is kind of what we're dealing with now, fire and air. We have to somehow use this theory. We have to put it into practice. Okay. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, by the way, please do. It is totally free, right? Doesn't cost anything. This is a creative thing, again, with the wood serpent, right? The Lunar New Year. This is about discovering what our gift is, what our talent is, and having Two of Wands, right? General energy, control. Having the ability to say, I'm going to find a way to incorporate this thing in my life because I care about it, because I love it, I want to do it. I don't have to allow it to completely consume my life. And then, I'm just in my bedroom playing drums and I end up forgetting about work, forgetting about the cat, forgetting about my other responsibilities, forgetting to eat. No. It has to be intentional. It has to be controlled. I feel like this is something that would completely overwhelm you if you let it. You know, that we would just be doing it all day, all night. We'd forget to take care of ourselves and our lives, right? We have to stay in control of it. We have to also control our thought process, because we feel this. We want to do it, yeah, but I feel this impulse. I know it would just be sublime. It would be a spiritual experience, yeah, but I've got so much stuff to do. I'm already so busy. This is about taking control. This is about taking accountability, responsibility for our lives, and saying, if this means something to us, I'll find a way to make it happen. No one else is going to do it for me, and why shouldn't I do it? Why shouldn't I have this thing in my life that I know I'm going to love so much, that I know is going to make my life better in a lot of ways? Not just in that moment where I'm doing it, it's going to feel good, but it's going to make me just an overall happier person. I'm going to feel like I'm closer to my true self. Just 5 minutes a day, right? Spirit's saying that you work very well under pressure, that you know how to get things done. Okay, and maybe you're very efficient, or you're very kind of business oriented, right? So you know how to assert yourself, but I think change might be a little bit difficult. I think that for you to sort of leap into something is going to be a challenge for you. You're going to have to really do it intentionally. Okay, it's kind of like you're going to have to be the one that pushes the fool into it. Otherwise, the fool may not really do it. May just sort of yeah, it sounds great. It's a wonderful thing to think about. This is, this is the fire energy. This is the impulse. This is the motivation. This is saying, I need to get up and I need to take this step. I need to do this thing. I need to take at least one step in the direction of this thing. If it's sort of going out and buying one paintbrush, or going to the thrift store and looking for one cheap sewing machine or something. I don't know. Taking one positive step in a physical way, right, to set this thing in motion. Because this is the year where we take this creativity and we begin to transform ourselves and transform our lives by incorporating those things that are essentially part of your soul, but they haven't been given any form of expression yet. Okay. The Six of Swords in your environment shows your relationships. It shows a harmony and a beauty in how you communicate with people. I think that you finding this, I don't want to call it a hidden talent, but you reincorporating this into your life is going to improve your relationships with everybody else, even the people that aren't connected with this. Okay. I feel like this is a new attitude directed toward everybody that you interact with. I think people at work are going to say, wow, Taurus, you seem different today. What's going on? You seem so happy, right? I think it is your ability to build rapport with people. And I think when we have things in our life that make us feel connected, that make us feel good, that make us feel maybe part of something, maybe this is like a club or it's some kind of a group thing that you do, whatever it is for you, it gives us just, it makes us more cheerful in a very literal way. We just enjoy everything more. And I think it's going to improve the way that you communicate with people in your life. Because I wonder if maybe lately you've just kind of, you get annoyed by people a little bit more easily. It just feels like there's not real, like there's some miscommunications more often than there needs to be. And I feel like you need this in your life because I think it's going to relax you. I think that it is going to improve your life in a lot of ways. Okay. And in the big way, it's going to improve the way that you're able to connect with other people and build meaningful relationships with people. And just to have sort of easy flowing interactions and conversations with coworkers, strangers, people at the supermarket, whatever. Okay. The other thing about the Six of Swords is that it is the blueprint. So if we have this feeling and we have the will to do it, what we need next, of course, is some sort of a plan. So it's kind of like we have to somehow schedule it in or figure out what we need, write down, make a list, put it in your journal. You're going to start journaling more, right? Put it in your journal. What do you need to get this going? What's the first, what can you do right now? Like if I were to say, I need to play the drums in my life, that's just something my soul yearns for, that kind of experience and engagement. Well, what can I do right now to sort of start the process? Well, I can't afford to buy a drum kit. I got no place to put it. I don't have the time to really devote that. Well, what I can do? I can buy a pair of drumsticks. They're cheap. They're like $7-8, right? I'll buy a pair of drumsticks because then I can at least I can ease into doing it. I can do something that's sort of related to it and I can build from there. Then maybe I can just get one cheap little practice pad. Well, then maybe I can just buy a snare drum, and maybe then I'll just get one cymbal or something, we can slowly build it out. And I think once we take that first step, then we sort of see that okay, now here's the rest of the plan sort of emerging. Now I kind of have a blueprint of how this can really make sense. This is also the card of scheduling, organization, getting things down to a science, right? And I feel that you're somebody who likes to be organized and you like to kind of, you like to have your routine and you like to have your itinerary. So it may just be that we have to literally schedule this in. Literally put it in your calendar and I think that's the only way you're going to do it. You kind of have to force yourself to do it. Once it's on the calendar, okay, it's part of my schedule. I got to do it. Okay. And of course, the card we do not want is our Two of Swords, which is kind of waffling back and forth, indecisive, right? Because there's always going to be an excuse, and that's what the Two of Swords is all about how thoughts tend to procreate. Thoughts beget thoughts. The 2 becomes a 4, becomes a 16, becomes a 20, 32, 64. It just continues to multiply. The more we think about it, the more we think about it, the more those thoughts multiply, and pretty soon we got this whole mind map thing going on, and we're no closer to making a decision or taking an action. Okay, so we need to first take the action, fire to earth, right? Impulse to behavior. We need to have the urge to do it, and we need to do it. Then we can start fleshing out the plan. And of course, with this card, it also is saying, let's follow our intuition. Let's follow what our soul is yearning for. Let's not try to reason it out. Let's feel back to when we were kids and what really does it for me, or what might. Because maybe the Fool has to go through some exploration, a little bit more experimentation to find out what that thing really could be. It might be more than one thing. But connecting with something that that gave you that sense of the sublime when you were a kid. Okay, and we need to follow that path, and we need to get that now, right? And the final card, I think, is perfect. A nice way of winding down the energy, because we have the fixed air energy, the Prince of Swords, which is an Aquarius energy. And Aquarius, of course, is the star, right? So this card represents you with your spiritual GPS, your spiritual compass, always pointing at your star, right? So you're never losing sight of yourself. You're never losing connection with yourself. And it's, there may be periods of time where you don't get to play the drums for a few years. It doesn't mean that your compass is not still pointed at that. You haven't lost sight of it. Okay, and so this is about returning to something that's always been there. You've never been literally like disconnected from it. It's just we lost time doing other stuff. Okay. Yeah, we maybe haven't done this in many, many years. For me, it's been 10 years, maybe for you the same or more. Well, this is a reorientation. This is about feeling our spiritual compass and seeing where that needle is pointing. That needle is always pointing at the star. And now we're bringing that star back into our life, and it's going to improve your life in many, many different ways. The Nine of Cups is abundance on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, spiritual, creative planes. This is a way to improve your life overall by just incorporating this one little thing as much as we can. Maybe it will grow into something that is taking up more and more of your time. Maybe you realize that this is your vocation, this is your calling, and we want to do it more and more and more and more. Maybe it's going to turn into a source of income for you. Yeah. But right now it's just finding that gift or that talent and doing it to get that joy and that sense of connection and that sublime energy. If it makes money for you, well, that's a good thing too. If you have a prediction for the mystery card, please put it down in the comments. I want more earth energy. I want to see that we don't just do it once and then we say, oh, that was so fun, and then we never think about it again. No, I feel like you do it once now, or we do it again for this first time. And I think from there we figure out with the Six of Swords how to do it more. Okay, that felt great. How do I do it again? How do I arrange my life where I can do it again and again and again and again? And look at that Nine of Pentacles. So this is kind of, I think, incorporating this into your life. This is saying that now we're living that happy life. It's a function. It's not a state of being. It's an activity. It's a verb. I'm living a life that it feels good, that is successful. I feel it is purposeful and meaningful. I feel like the Nine of Pentacles is kind of saying that this might turn into a lifestyle. It might turn into a business. I definitely feel that it's gonna slowly take up more and more of your time. That it's gonna push out a lot of other things that you feel are just like, I need to get rid of all this stuff. I really need to clean out all this junk from the garage so I can make more room for this thing. Because I think it feels that good, and you're going to want to keep doing it, and you're going to want to do it more and more and more. The Nine of Pentacles is you're living your best life. See, the Nine of Cups is you pursuing your bliss, and I think the Nine of Pentacles is you living that bliss in a very practical, real, material world way through behaviors, incorporating those behaviors, those actions, those hobbies, vocations, those interests, those talents that really have meaning and depth for you. It's really, really good. A great way to start off the Lunar New Year. We're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an Jing reading. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Taurus on Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, does not cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.